We've got that. And then, okay. I'm going to go ahead and pop a link into the chat as well. Let's see. All right, let me grab this link really quick before I let people in. Okay, and then we'll go back to this. I can let some people in. All right. Great, so we have people are starting to come in. We'll get started in a couple minutes, and I'm going to put a link in the chat for everyone. Here we go. For some reason, I'm not able to. Welcome, everyone. We're going to get started in a minute or two. Here, I'm going to stop my screen share for a second so I can pop a link in the chat. Every Tuesday on LinkedIn, I do a poll. And I'm putting the link for the poll in the chat. I would love for everyone to vote in this poll. This is a 3-day poll. And so it wraps up end of this week. And I want to get your vote. I want to get your opinion on this. And I'm not going to say anything more about the post. I would just like you to read it sometime this afternoon or within the next couple days. And be sure to vote. Be sure to vote before Friday. And that way we can continue the conversation on that important topic that I'm posting about. All right, I'm resharing my screen here. Excellent. All right, and the time is about 12:03. You know that we do have a bunch of people that are going to be coming in late, or people checking the, listening to the replay. I want to go ahead and get started because my plan is still to end around 12:45 today, Chicago time, so about 45 minutes in. I want to give you that extra time then to review your notes and to identify at least one key takeaway from today's session. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Again, I'm Christine Kidder-Graves, your marketing career coach. I'm very happy to be here on our second day of our Land Your Ideal Role in 90 Days 2022 Career Plan Masterclass, free masterclass. Now, yesterday we really jumped into it. I did give you an overview of what we're going to be covering. Day one yesterday was reflect. Today we're going to be talking about our plan. And then tomorrow we're going to be talking about connecting. Connecting is the key action, in my opinion, that really helps you to have work that works for you, to have the career that you really want to have, where you feel your efforts are really contributing, that you're making a difference, that you are being invaluable. So we did that, but we jumped into things so quickly. I would love to find out more about who are you? Who are you? Why are you here? What is it that you'd like to get out of this class? If you can share in the chat what it is, what's the one key takeaway that you would love to get out of these 3 days that we're spending, that would make it worth your time. What is that one takeaway that you'd like to get? If there's more takeaways you need, feel free to share those as well, but really would like to know that about you. And yeah, that's the key thing. So I shared a little bit about myself yesterday. My background is in human resources. And I left corporate in 2018 after I was very grateful for my HR leadership experience that I had, but I really wanted to use my background and experience to help individuals more, to have a career that was really a fit for their lives. Here's my reminder. I keep on saying it. You'll see it throughout the emails that we're sending you. We're sending you 3 emails every day to help you, to remind you. The first one in the morning is with the Zoom link. All of them really have the Zoom link, but just to make sure that you have it. The second one is just to remind you right as we're getting started that we are getting started. And then the third email is to provide you with the recording from that session, with the replay. And then the replays will be available after we end this masterclass this week for a limited time. I don't want you to be panicked. I don't want you to feel behind, but just keep on moving. Even if you have small action, even if you've got so much going on this week at work and in your personal life, everything tends to hit at the same time, doesn't it? It always works out that way. But even if you can just do a little bit by listening to the replay, doing a little bit of your homework, that's good. That's really good. So pat yourself on the back if you are able to take small action every day. Small action is better than no action. And print out your workbook. Yes, I know we all want to save trees and everything, but I think it is easier if you have a hard copy of the workbook. And that way you can save it and you can put it in a file, because the whole intention of this workbook is for you to use it in the coming months, not just for this week, but at least the next 6 to 12, maybe even 18 months, okay, for your career plan. So print out that workbook. I'm going to do a quick recap of yesterday. We touched upon the workbook, what's in the workbook. And one of the great things that you'll find in your workbook is your career goal card. All right. I want you to use these, or at least give it a try. Give it a try for this week. But in order to use it, you have to come up with that big, scary career goal of yours. What is your big, scary career goal? And also, I'm asking you to step outside of your comfort zone. If you are comfortable, well, if you're willing, you may not be comfortable. If you're willing to share what your big, scary career goal is with this group, that would be great. You could even share it in the Facebook group too. That's totally fine. But what is a big, scary career goal? How do I define it? It is something that you haven't done before, number one. And number two, it's something that makes you really excited. You're really motivated to do it. And yet you're also terrified or really nervous, really scared. You get all this anxiety that comes up, but you really want to do it. So yeah, so the big, scary career goal is what I want you to think of when you are using your career goal card. That's really important. And it's fun. So I do have my career goal card. I wanted to show it to you. Here it is. It's all the way behind me. You really won't be able to see it since I have my background blurred, but I do have it. And I carry it around with me every day. And I love to look at it in the morning when I first wake up, because really this is a big driver for me waking up in the morning and starting my workday. It really excites me and it keeps me focused. We all have tons of things that are constantly distracting us. We have all these responsibilities, all of these to-dos that we have to take care of, all these different roles that we play. And to stay focused on your big, scary career goal, doing something as simple as writing it down on your career goal card is huge. It's a very simple thing, but it's very powerful, because I take mine, I look at it in the morning, I carry it around with me, I look at it throughout the day. And every time I look at it, I feel excited, because this is my finish line. This is my goal that I'm heading toward, that I'm working toward. And it motivates me. And again, it's a very simple tool, but it's also very powerful. I had to remind you about that. So use the career goal card that is in your workbook, or at least give it a try this week. All right, now for day 2. Oh, and I did want to touch upon, I wanted to go back to yesterday as well, the star stories. So today we're talking about the plan. You need a career plan. We always need a plan when we are working on a project, working on a goal, all right? And think of your career, you approach it as a project. And if you should be the project manager of your career or the CEO of your career. That's really important to do. But I want you to, really look at this. This is what I feel are the critical components of a solid career plan. The first thing is to manage your mindset. Really, mindset is 95% of it. It goes back to that Henry Ford quote where he says, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. We have to be honest with ourselves. We really have to think about, do I really believe that I can do this? And if we have doubts, then that's fine. We need to really look at those doubts and really dig underneath them and see what's really behind them. All right. Mindset is an important thing. And I've been working more and more on it with my clients. And in fact, I'm pursuing my coaching certification, my mindset coaching certification to really help my clients even more. So that's how important I felt it was to take the time and to invest in getting this certification. So I'm really excited to be wrapping that up at the end of this year and to be continuing my development on that as well and to be using it with my clients. The number 2 element that is critical in a career plan, in a successful career plan, and I did touch upon this yesterday, are your star stories. What are star stories? Go to your workbook. It was the pre-work that I wanted you to think about. And it comes back to your brand. What's brand? When I refer to brand, you might be like, Christine, what are you talking about? Right. When I'm referring to brand, think about, first of all, the big brands that you encounter in your life, like Apple, Tiffany, Harley Davidson. There's a feeling that you get with each one of those brands, right? You might not even be able to, you just know how you feel, and maybe think of some adjectives that come to mind. Like, how would you describe that feeling with those different brands that you encounter? Okay. You are a brand. You have a brand, just like Martha Stewart and Oprah and Michael Jordan. They are brands, but you are a brand too, as a leader, as a professional in your work. We need to take the time to reflect on that. And our star stories are a way for us to convey our brand. Think about people when you meet them for the first time, like when you're at a party or you go to a networking event and you meet strangers, or maybe even think about your friends that you have, like when you first met them. How do we remember people? How are people memorable? People are memorable through their stories, right? And with several of my clients, I can still remember when I first met them too, because there was just something that they shared with me that was part of their story. And again, if you reflect on people that have stuck in your mind that you have remembered, it was because most likely that they shared something from their story with you. Okay. So that's why it's so important for you to have your star stories. When I work with my clients, we do work to make sure we know, to really get the details that build their brand. All right. What are their unique skills? What are their unique talents? And there's different tools that we use to help them in doing that. One of the tools that I recommend that you can also access as well, that I encourage you to do. And I will have it, I'm sharing my resource list with you. That's one of the bonuses that you are receiving from being in this masterclass, is the Strengths Finder assessment. It's a great tool. It's a low cost tool, yet you get so much value from it. You get a ton of value, and it really gives you more clarity on your unique, one of a kind, professional and personal brand. It's well worth it. And we use that assessment. Now, there are also other assessments. Maybe you've used other assessments in your career, in your work, like maybe your company had you do some assessments. You could certainly use those as a resource too, to get the clarity on your brand. Why is this important? Because if you're not clear on your brand, how is anyone else going to be clear on it? When you're doing a job search and you're in interviews, why should the hiring manager hire you? Why should they even interview you? Again, if you are not clear on your brand, how are you going to get any interviews? How are you going to move through your job search? And then once you landed a role, once you landed that great role, you still need to have the clarity on your brand, because you're going to be in meetings and maybe there will be opportunities for you to contribute. And ideally, you don't want to wait for someone to ask you. You want to be there. You want to be as proactive as possible and really contribute to be invaluable. And again, if you have the clarity on your brand, that's really going to help you to be a great team member, to be someone that your boss can go to, your boss can count on, your coworkers can count on. And that's why the STAR stories are so helpful. But it all starts with your clarity. You need to have that. When I do my career clarity call, so that's one of the things that's really important. It's great that you're here in this masterclass, either live here right now or listening to the replay. But it's not enough. We all have challenges that stop us or slow us down. And to get through those and to really laser in on them, you need to do a call with me. And some of you have done a call with me, so that's great. But then we should do a quick follow-up call, because we need to use our magnifying glass and really look at, okay, what are you stuck in right now? Or what's slowing you down? What is blocking you? Okay. Because there is a solution, but often we can't see the solution, or maybe we've got a clouded view, whatever it may be. But when I have that call with you, my goal is to call it out right away. So we've got it, we can see it, we can shine a line on it, and we can take action and move past it, move through it. That's why the career clarity call is essential, because I don't want you to be slowed down. I don't want you to be blocked. And let's make sure that we do that. So make sure that we get you the link to do a career clarity call after the masterclass, wraps up. Or I would encourage you to get it scheduled. The sooner, the better. I am going out of town next week. But the sooner we can hop on the phone one-on-one and have a conversation, the better. So I encourage you to do that. Okay, back to our plan. Now, not everyone here is going to be doing a job search. The people I talk about, my clients, and also to the new connections I make, typically fall into two camps. The first camp is actively searching for their next role. And I can definitely help you with that. We take the direct path. There's way too many activities that waste your time in job search. My philosophy is to do less work. We want to minimize your time as much as possible while taking effective action that produces the results that we need. Multiple job offers for you, really getting getting the compensation, getting well paid, especially for women, as we know that pay gap still exists out there. Getting the offers, getting the interviews for the right opportunities, the companies that you are targeting. You don't want just any interviews. You want to work in a great environment where you can really be appreciated and where you have the opportunity to shine. So that's what we do if you are doing a job search. If you are not doing a job search, then that's the second camp of people that I work with. They've been very successful. They love their current role that they're at. However, they don't know what the next step is. They need a plan. They need to get clarity on what that next role is. Where do they want to go from here? And when that's the case, or actually for everybody, and I have it here, or I did have it out, the book that I mentioned yesterday, probably have it underneath my, can I find it? It's the Top Regrets of the Dying, 5 Top Regrets. It's a book by Bronnie Ware. It is in my resource list, so I will share it with you. But again, everyone should read that book, because you want to make sure that you are working toward what you really want. And yesterday was spent talking about, well, how do you find that out? What do you really want? And I do offer sessions to my clients when they need more help with that. I've got some great exercises to help you get right to that clarity on what it is that you really want. But that's one of the things that I do with my clients. Okay, so again, if you're not doing a job search, but the other can't, you need that clarity on what that next step is. So we work on that, what the clarity is, putting together a plan. Once we do determine what is that next step for you. And then also having a target company list. That is really important, because not every company is going to be a fit for you. Not every company at all. There'll be some companies that there's no way you would want to work at them. Just no, not at all. They're not a fit for you. And that's okay. That is totally fine. But to have the clarity, to have that target company list. The other thing I want to say is, when I'm working with my clients, really, I want us to use the target company list in a powerful way, to use it to help us focus more. And so many job seekers do have a target company list, but they're not using it the right way. I need you to use it the right way, because if you don't, you'll be wasting your time again. And we don't want to waste your time, your energy, or your money. No. We do not want to do that. If you are not looking for a job, if you're not doing a job search, you still should have a target company list, because it's almost like if you invest in the stock market, although maybe right now you're not doing that, but you may have companies that you watch. Yes, you should have companies that you watch, even if you are not doing a job search. And that's part that will help you in your connection work. Connection work is the 5th important part of a career plan. And then the 6th essential part of a good career plan is to receive feedback. You want to receive feedback. You want to receive job offers when you are doing your job search. Ideally, we want to receive at least 2 to 3, maybe even 5 job offers, so we can really look and make it a very informed decision and really have some good choices in front of us. And receiving feedback is an important part of it as well. And also good and bad feedback, or bad. I don't think that there's any bad feedback. There may be feedback that's hard to hear. However, feedback is a gift. We need to keep that in mind. Okay, so again, managing your mindset. This comes back to following the direction of your inner mentor. So we talked about the inner mentor yesterday. And that's, again, it can be so hard to hear that inner mentor. but we need to work very hard, very diligently to make sure that we're tuning into our inner mentor regularly and heading in the direction that we need to, that we're focused on. And also too, there's that inner critic. Again, the inner critic is that voice that protected us from the dinosaurs, from getting eaten by those dinosaurs. And yeah, the inner critic isn't a bad guy. Yeah, the inner critic can be really negative, and we hear the inner critic a lot over and over again. And again, they're not a bad person, but don't let them be the major driver of your career. Don't play it safe. Take the risks that you need to take. Star stories, again, they determine your unique, one-of-a-kind brand. The job search. Now, getting back to your job search, if you are doing a job search, these are the critical components, the critical documents for your job search that I work on with my clients. So when I work with my clients and we are meeting, it's not just the time that we're spending working together, but we're also, part of our work that's included in my program is you having a resume that reflects your brand and a LinkedIn profile. Ideally, you want a LinkedIn profile where people are reaching out to you regularly regarding that ideal opportunity that you're targeting in your search. Or even if you're not looking, because your LinkedIn profile does such a great job of reflecting your brand, people are regularly contacting you regarding opportunities that would be ideal for you, that ideal next step, that ideal next challenge, for you to grow in your career. You should have a cover letter template as well. That's important, and even follow-up email templates. So, you feel comfortable in following up. Target companies, again, this is the target company list that I mentioned a minute ago. So you're building this based on your reflection work. Now, tomorrow, we're going to dive into this step, connection, a lot more. All right, so we're going to be doing this, but you want to throw your hat in the ring to jobs that you hear about through your network, and you're following up on applications. You're also connecting in interviews. You're preparing for interviews, you're landing interviews, you're preparing for interviews, and you're shining in those interviews because you're you and you're showing your brand. And it always needs to be done. It's not something, even if you can do just a little bit every day, as little as 5 minutes a day. And the LinkedIn app for your phone makes it super easy. You can do it when you are like in the checkout line even. It's a great source of content. What I recommend is that instead of, if you still watch the news, number one, stop watching the news, because it's not the best thing it's not a great motivator. It can be very discouraging. However, you may want to stay up on what's going on. Replace the news with LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a great source of content, and it will give you updates on what's going on in the business world and just news in general. But LinkedIn is more professional, and you're not going to get all of this garbage sometimes that you get when you're watching the news. And then again, as I was saying, you want to receive offers, opportunities. You want to be able to make some sound decisions that work for you and your career. And you want to be able to wrap up a search if you're doing a search, and then move on to the next phase. I have this slide in here because it needs to be touched upon. And this is the knowing doing gap. We all suffer from this. I've suffered from this. I love learning. I've always enjoyed being a student. I know when I was younger, I thought about, wow, what if I went after college? What if I got my PhD? And, I think when I was younger, I could have been a lifelong student. Knowledge is wonderful. classes like this masterclass. Yes, this is great. I love doing this. I'm glad you're here. But knowledge will only take us so far. We need to apply what we learn. That is critical. Need to do that. So I have here the knowing doing gap. What is the knowing doing gap? And I actually, if you check the chat, definitely check the chat for my post that I did earlier today. I'd like you to read it after we end the session. And really, the post that I did today is about the knowing doing gap. So to simply explain it to you, we know what we need to do, but often we don't do that. Why is that? And in my career as an HR leader, I would see that with employees. Take the simple example of an employee who's late all the time, constantly tardy, always late, and their manager writes them up. And then eventually we wind up firing them because they're not able to come to work on time. And even with students, like my son today was like running behind schedule for school. He knows what he needs to do, yet he's not doing that. Why is that? Why is that? What explains that? And it's like, we focus so much on the doing. I think it comes down to, are we being the person that we want to be? And if you're the employee, if you're the leader that you want to be, then would you do this? Would you be late to work? Would you be late to school? No, you wouldn't. So that's how we bridge that knowing doing gap. But I want you to have this awareness because I love reading, I love studying, and there's nothing wrong with that. But just don't become an information junkie. You can gather lots of information. And also too, what I want you to do is take action on it. Now, you may not be able to take action on everything, and especially everything from this masterclass. I'm providing you with tons of content here. But if you can at least do one thing, take one action every day, that would be great. That's really good. So do that. I encourage you to do that. All right. And then let me do this. Okay. So that was the main thing, the main slide. And then with the workbook, I'm going to go ahead and stop my share here because I want to go to the workbook and show you that so we can look at it today. So give me a second here. I had it open. Here we go. So I'm going to share this with you so you can see and we can look at it together. Here we go. Here's the workbook. All right, and this is again, we'll make sure. You should have it printed off to look at. But and again, I'm going to go back to the beginning of it because I don't want you to discount the pre-work that I wanted you to do, because what was included in that was the star stories. Okay, so so that's important to do that, and then there were some free resources for you too to help you with your reflection work. So there was this awesome free video on YouTube for you to check out. Do this simple assessment of past and present on where you were at in your career and where you're at right now. List out your 5 strengths. And then here's the Star Stories worksheet for you to use for each one of your strengths. And I want to challenge you to identify 5 strengths. I know you have several strengths, but what are your top 5? And then yesterday, we also talked about the inner critic, and then you had some homework. Here's the career goal card that I started off talking about today. And then here's what I really identify as the critical components of a career plan. So tomorrow we are going to be talking about connection. It's really important. And then also too, I have at least 2 bonuses. I'm trying to have another bonus for you. Well, actually there will be 3 bonuses. Okay. But I have bonuses that I'm going to be announcing tomorrow, and I'm really excited to be sharing them with you. And I want you to stay tuned and make sure if you know you're going to be watching the replay tomorrow, that's totally fine. But make sure when you're watching it that you listen for what those bonuses are, because that's you're not going to want to miss out on those bonuses. That will be really important for you as well. And so yes, I'm looking forward to telling you about those bonuses. And then also in the chat, I'm going to put the link right here. This is for you to go ahead. Let's be proactive and block out some time to do a career clarity call with me. It's you and I talking one-on-one, and we're really going to try to identify at least one of the challenges that you've encountered in your career to really help you move through it, regardless of you doing a job search now or not. But I want to help you to move through that. And really, I'm most effective when we're talking one-on-one, and we can really talk through those challenges. So, so that's important. So try to get that on your schedule sooner rather than later, because I will be out of town next week. I'm going to be out of town on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'll be checking my messages, but the sooner we can get a time down on the calendar to talk one-on-one, the better. And then, the other thing I wanted to, before I wrap up today, I want to encourage you to consider my program for you. All right. Christine, why should I invest in your program? Why should I do it? Well, there's 2 things. Again, I work with those that are actively looking and those who are not looking right now, but they don't know what the next step is. So definitely, if you don't know what your next step is in your career, we need to work together, because I want to make sure that you have the clarity and that we're using your time well for you to have a career that works for you. Okay. Where you're paid well, where you're making the impact that you can expand your impact, you can expand your compensation, you can really, make a difference and be invaluable. My program is in the first 90 days of us working together in my program. We do weekly sessions together. So truly, I am your career coach and your mindset coach, because mindset is impacting us so much in our daily work, and to help you deal with the stress and the challenges that you encounter in your work. So in that first 90 days, our goal is at the end of the 90 days to identify what that next step is for you in your career, if you need the clarity on that, or if you're doing a job search, for you to land your next role within 90 days, right? So we're very focused in that first 90 days. Now, I have had some clients that have said, well, Christine, I need to stretch the timeline a little bit because I have all these commitments in my personal life, in my career, my work life. We need to spread it out a little bit more, maybe over 4 months or maybe even 6 months. That's fine. I tailor my program to you and to your needs. Okay. But think of it this way to simplify it. We do work on the front end right away to get clarity and to land that ideal role that you need, or to identify it. Okay. And then the remainder of the year, I'm supporting you and coaching you on being in action, in being the leader that you really want to be, and taking the action that you need. And also too, I'm going to be sharing, I just came across this new article where Warren Buffett was interviewed, And he basically says the number one investment, the best investment for us all to make is in ourselves. And I loved hearing that. And I was kind of surprised that I hadn't seen this article before, but I believe it's pretty recent. So that's probably why I haven't seen it. But when you do work with me, yes, you are investing in yourself. But I do have I have this great resource to share, and it's essentially third-party funding. So to make it easier, to make it accessible to more people, to more leaders, because we all have financial demands, financial responsibilities. I want to give you as much flexibility as possible so you can truly invest in yourself, and it's not difficult to do so. So I will be sharing more information on that as well. I should be able to share it tomorrow with you. And then, yeah, so I'm really excited to be doing that with you. And yeah, I think that's about it. So I'm just double checking my notes to make sure I shared everything. And then I guess, so again, try to book your call, your one-on-one call with me. And if you have any feedback at all regarding this masterclass, please let us know, because I'm always looking to improve it. And I have 2 people on my team supporting me as well. So, and I'll be introducing them to you more too. So you can reach out to any of us, any one of the 3 of us. And that way we can, improve this masterclass and help you. And then, oh yes. And I promise my last question for you is, when do you do your weekly planning? Like when is the best time for you to plan the week that's ahead of you? Okay. If you could let me know either on the chat here or in the Facebook group or in email, because there's another way that I want to support you, but I want to make sure that the timing of that regular support is optimal. All right. So yeah, so this was great. It was wonderful to see you, and I look forward to tomorrow, which again, we'll be talking about Connect. And then I will be announcing at least three bonuses to you tomorrow that I'm really excited about. So yeah, so thank you so much for your attention, and use this time to review your notes and decide one thing. What is the one thing that you are going to take action on today? Have a great day. Bye.